Attention passionate Philadelphia, EAGLES FANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Philadelphia Eagles' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Philadelphia Eagles fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Philadelphia, EAGLES FANS. Let's get to the news. Now folks, the Eagles are once again in the spotlight as the countdown to final roster cuts approaches. And let me tell you, it's a process that's always filled with tension, surprises, and tough decisions. The Eagles, as many of you know, are coming off a season that saw them make a real statement, not just in the NFC East, but across the entire NFL. They're aiming to defend their status as contenders, and everything points to them maintaining a roster that's stacked with talent. It's a roster that's built to compete at the highest level, and trust me, the coaching staff, led by head coach Nick Sirianni, has been meticulous in evaluating every player, every position, trying to find that perfect blend of youth, experience, and depth. Philadelphia has been doing what they do best, building from the trenches up, and their draft class and offseason signings reflect that. They've got talented guys across every position group, from the offensive line to the secondary, and especially on defense, which has been a hallmark of their recent success. But as the roster gets trimmed down, the competition becomes fierce. Players who once looked like locks to make the team are now fighting tooth and nail to keep their spots. And that's what makes this time of year so unpredictable and exciting for Eagles fans. One of the names that has been making headlines in recent days is Lewis Cine. Now, Cine is a name that's been through a lot of ups and downs. He was a first-round pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, selected 32nd overall by the Minnesota Vikings. Coming out of Georgia, Cine was seen as a promising safety with a lot of potential. But, as many fans and analysts have pointed out, his NFL journey has been anything but smooth. He's struggled to find consistency and, unfortunately, has been hampered by injuries along the way. After his time with the Vikings, Cine was added to the Buffalo Bills practice squad before signing with the Eagles in January. And let me tell you, for a player with his pedigree, getting a chance with a team like Philadelphia was a big deal. The Eagles saw something in him, perhaps a veteran presence or depth insurance, and Cine even played a small role in their Super Bowl winning campaign, albeit in a depth role. That experience alone is valuable. Being part of a championship team, even from the sidelines, adds a lot to a player's resume. But now, with the final roster cuts imminent, it looks like Cine's time with the Eagles might be coming to an end. And honestly, it's a story that's all too familiar for NFL fans. Despite the talent and the pedigree, sometimes things just don't click. And in Cine's case, it's a mix of factors: injuries that have limited his ability to compete at full strength, and perhaps a level of performance that hasn't met the high expectations set by his draft position. It's a tough pill to swallow, especially when you consider how many Eagles fans were excited about his potential, given the strong Georgia Bulldogs connection. Speaking of Georgia, this is a team that has been a factory for NFL talent, especially on defense. The Eagles have heavily leaned on Georgia prospects in recent years, and players like Nakobe Dean, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Azeez Ojulari, Nolan Smith, and Kelly Ringo have all made significant contributions to the team. It's a strategy that's paid off handsomely. These guys come in with a winning mentality, a high football IQ, and a chip on their shoulder. But even with this stacked pipeline of talent, Cine's situation highlights how unpredictable the NFL can be. Sometimes, even the most talented players don't find the right fit or circumstances to thrive. Now, it's important to understand that the Eagles are very disciplined when it comes to roster management. They're known for their meticulous approach, and they're not afraid to make tough cuts. Cine's injury, which has been a setback, is more than enough reason for the team to consider other options. They have other talented safeties competing for a spot, and frankly, the depth at safety has been one of the team's strengths this offseason. The injury has opened the door for more promising prospects to step up, and that's where the focus is now. You might be asking, what's next for Lewis Cine? Well, given the Eagles' history with practice squad players, there's a real possibility that Cini could be re-signed to the practice squad, where he can continue to develop and perhaps earn his way back onto the active roster. The Eagles have a track record of bringing back players they believe in, especially those who have familiarity with the system, and Cini's experience with the team could be valuable in that regard. But it's clear that the competition is fierce, and for Cini, the window of opportunity is closing fast. This situation also sheds light on the overall depth and talent the Eagles have accumulated. It's a testament to how competitive the roster is. Every spot is earned, and not everyone who dreams of making the team will get that chance. For Cini, it's a disappointing chapter, no doubt. He's a player with a lot of potential, but sometimes, injuries and circumstances prevent a player from reaching their full potential in the NFL. The best-case scenario now is that he finds a way to stick around on the practice squad, keep working, and maybe, just maybe, earn a shot to prove himself again in the future. But let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. The Eagles are not just a team trying to fill roster spots. They're a team that's built on a foundation of smart talent acquisition, high-character players, and a culture of winning. They've been to the top recently, winning the NFC Championship and making a strong Super Bowl run. Their core, especially on defense, is young and talented, and they're hungry to repeat or even surpass last year's accomplishments. The front office and coaching staff have shown a keen eye for talent, especially in the draft, which is evident in their continued reliance on Georgia prospects and other high-upside players. This roster, as it stands, is still incredibly formidable. The depth at key positions gives them flexibility, and the coaching staff's ability to develop players is well known across the league. But roster cuts are always a bittersweet moment. Reality hits home for many players who have given their all during training camp and preseason. For Cini, it's a moment of reflection. What could have been, what might still be, and how he will navigate the next steps in his career. The NFL is a brutal but fair league. If you get a second chance, you have to seize it with both hands. And Cini's story isn't over yet, but it's definitely at a crossroads. Now, as Eagles fans, it's important to stay optimistic. The team's front office, coaching staff, and players are all laser-focused on the upcoming season. They believe in their system, their talent, and their ability to contend for another Super Bowl. The roster decisions, tough as they are made with the goal of putting the best possible team on the field. And while Cini's chapter with the Eagles might be closing for now, the door isn't entirely shut. The NFL is a league of second chances, and sometimes, players find ways to come back stronger than ever. As we look ahead to the season, expect to see the Eagles continue to be one of the most exciting teams to watch. Their defense, anchored by a core of Georgia Bulldogs and other talented players, is poised to be among the best in the league. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, and Nakobe Dean are all players who have already made significant impacts, and with the experience they're gaining, they could be key in a deep playoff run. The offensive side, of course, remains potent with their dynamic playmakers and innovative schemes. So, Eagles fans, keep your eyes on the roster moves, stay tuned for more updates, and continue supporting this team that has shown resilience, talent, and a relentless drive to win. The story of Louis Cini might be a small part of the bigger picture, but it's a reminder of how competitive this league is and how every season brings new challenges and opportunities. The Eagles are gearing up for another shot at glory, and we, as fans, are right there with them, cheering every step of the way. And now, Philadelphia Eagles fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Philadelphia Eagles. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Philadelphia Eagles news.